This fried meat spread on vegetable and bread. It is one of my favorite childhood street food. And the last time I had it, it was more than 20 years ago in Cambodia. The Khmer name that I can remember is Brohat Sandai Kur. It was so good that the memory of how it tastes stayed with me until this day. I remember the crunchy bread, the delicious meat spread with the crunchy long beans inside, and the soybean sauce that we used to dip it with, and all the fresh vegetable like cucumber that we eat along with it. I remember the one that I ate in Cambodia. It was the fish kind. It was wrapped around the green beans and spread on the bread. But this one, the one I make it with pork and shrimp. I finally grind up the ground pork and add minced shrimp together with the ground pork. And you could use any kind of meat you like. It is a really good appetizer for any kind of parties. And today I will show you how to make the Khmer authentic meat spread for you to put on any vegetable or bread. And also the sauce that go with it. Okay, let's get started. You will need some ingredients that you could easily find from the store or at home. You will need ground pork, some shrimp, some fish sauce, oyster sauce, salt, pepper, some sugar, some garlic, some cooking oil, some green onions, and some water. You also need some panini breads, some long beans, and 1 large eggplant. And you could use any type of bread that have the hard shell outside. You can slice it at an angle about 1/2 inch thick. Or you could cut the bread in half and then cut it into 4 pieces. You will need about 3 to 4 panini bread. This is 1 large eggplant. After you clean it, you're going to slice it at an angle about 1/3 inch thick. Put them into a plate, and then we're going to cut up some long beans. For the long bean, you want to line them up so they're all straight, and then you're going to cut the black stuff off, just a little bit off. And after, you're going to cut it into 2.5 inch. And toward the end, you're gonna get a really long one in the end. Since the long bean is never even, so you could sort it out. The long one that is long enough, you could leave it, and the one that's too long, you could cut in half again. Now put them in a plate with the eggplant. We got our bread and our vegetable already. And next, we're going to mince some shrimp. After you cut up the shrimp, you're going to chop it into some tiny pieces, but not too fine. You want to leave it a little bit chunky, so then when you're going to put it with the meat, it will show on the meat when you fried it. Put them into the bowl and leave it aside for now. Now half of the work is almost done. That fast, eh? This is about 1.5 pounds of ground pork. We're going to put it into the food processor. In the food processor, we're going to blend it for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, you could turn it off and leave it on the side. And next, we're going to combine all the ingredients before we add into the meat. 1/3 cup of water, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, 6 cloves finely chopped garlics, 1 tablespoon of cooking oil, 3 stalks of green onions, 1 tablespoon of fish sauce, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. Mix all the ingredients together before you add them into the meat. And the meat that we blended earlier, it's only for 30 seconds. And after that, we're going to add the mixture. Stir it up so the cornstarch rise to the top and pour everything in. close it and we're going to blend it for 1 minute to 2 minutes. And that's it. And that's all we wanted. We just want everything to mix together. And after, you could take everything out. After you take the meat out from the food processor, now you could add in all the shrimps. Mix the shrimp together well, and then after you're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. It was supposed to be added in the mixture earlier, but I forgot, so you could add it now. That's okay too. After you mix them, now you got this pork and shrimp paste. Oh, I'm going to wear some gloves. This thing is going to be really sticky, so I'm going to do the bread first. I'm going to do this one first. So, we're going to put it on here. Because we add cornstarch into the meat spread, that's why the meat really sticky and it will stick to the bread or any vegetable. See? And you see the little shrimp there? So that's why we didn't want the shrimp to be super grind out. Okay, and just put it down. And here is the fast speed one more time on how you put it on the bread. The same thing with the eggplant. See? We're going to put right on there. You can put on the meat as much as you want, but you don't want it too thick. It is about 2/8 of an inch. This way, when it's time to frying it, it doesn't take too long to fry it. Because if the bread takes too long to fry it, it will absorb too much oil. We're going to do the long beans last because it involves using our hand and it's quite sticky. First, you're going to paint the tray with the cooking oil. The meat spread is really sticky, that is why we paint it on there. You only need to paint your hand one time with cooking oil. And after, you're going to grab about 1 tablespoon of meat spread. You're going to flatten it and you're going to make it into a rectangle shape. And grab about 3 long beans. After you put the long beans together, you could close up your hand and then squeeze it together and seal it that way. It is about 2 inches long and 1 inch width. Apply some cooking oil onto the gloves. It really helps. It helps the process go so much quicker and not as messy because you don't have to worry about the meat spread sticking on your hand. You can repeat the same step until there's no more long beans. And that's it. We got everything done. Next, we're going to fry them. You will need a generous amount of cooking oil. After the heat is hot, you're going to turn it to number 8 and number 9. When you are cooking them, you want to make sure that the oil is really hot. You want to see the bubble when you drop them in. If the oil is not hot enough, it will take a long time to cook. And also, it will absorb a lot of oil. You want to fry the eggplant, putting it meat down first for 3 minutes, and after flip it back for 1 minute. And with the long beans, you're going to drop them in. You want to cook them for 3 to 4 minutes or until it turns a little bit golden brown. For the long bean, when you drop in the meat, it will sink to the bottom, but as it is getting cooked, it floats to the top. After it turned golden brown, you could take them out and put into the cooling rack. And lastly, we're going to fry the bread kind. The same thing as the eggplant, you're going to drop the meat down, fry it for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you're going to turn it to the back of the bread and you're going to fry it for 1 more minute. And that's it. We got our bread, our long beans, and our eggplant all fried up. You can leave it to cool down in a cooling rack, and next we're going to make the sauce for it. The sauce that I'm going to make is not the exact same one that is from Cambodia, but it's very similar. Cut up some red onions, 2 tablespoons, and you'll need some cooking oil and some garlic. This is homemade fried garlic and garlic oil. You could check it out in the previous video on how to make it. You will need some cooking oil, some garlic, the raw one is also fine, some hoisin sauce, some water, some white vinegar, and some red onions. Turn on the heat and put 1 tablespoon of cooking oil or garlic oil. I'm making the non-spicy one, so you could have the option to add red chili later. When the oil is hot, add in the red onions. If you want to use the raw garlic, you could fry it together with the red onions. Fry the red onion until it turns lightly brown. And after, you're going to add half a cup of hoisin sauce. After you saute them for 30 seconds on medium-high heat, add in 1 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, 1 teaspoon of homemade fried garlic. Stir it together, bring it to boil, and turn off the heat. You can give it a taste. You could add more white vinegar if you like, but for me, it's just perfect. And that's it. You could pour the sauce into a container that you could seal and put it away later. Don't cover it yet, let it cool down. And that's it, we did it together. We made this authentic meat spread that could go on any vegetable and bread. Look how nicely it turned out. It looks so yummy. Now you could cut up some cucumber. For the design, I used the julienne pillar. It's really great. You can slice some cucumber and put right on top of the salad. Now you can design your appetizer board in whichever way you like. Add some sauce and also put on the board as well, and your guests will love you for this. Add some green onion if you like. Add some hot sauce and dig in. And that's it to making the prahat sandai cua nung prahat numpang. I hope this video will help you to make the Khmer authentic meat spread for you and your family or your guests. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share with your family and friends. And on your way out, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more delicious homemade recipes. And also, don't forget to press the notification bell so you get notified for all my future videos. You ever taste the food so good that you start to dance or humming? The dancing part, that is me, but the humming part, I know someone who does that. I guess some delicious food could make us dance, sing, humming. And before I end this video, I would like to show you what I'm going to make next. In my next video, I'm going to make hollow donut or num hin. And if you are curious to know how I make it, follow me on my next video and I'll show you how. Okay, thank you all for watching and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye for now.